Tell me a story about your mother that we don't know of. Tell me something fun. Tell me something nostalgic.
Well, if I have to, well, I can tell you something that was very interesting for me, and I saw in a completely different light. And I think many things shaped me after this. She was driving somewhere. And
How long ago is this?
Oh, this is 80s.
Okay.
So she was driving somewhere, and she used to love driving herself. So she was driving, and she was behind another
Car.
Actually, not a car. It was a rickshaw that she was behind, and she was following this car. And there was a lady who was crossing the road, and that lady came and stopped on the divider. You know, when you're waiting for the other cars to go, and the person who was in the rickshaw, as he was crossing this lady, put his hand out and groped that woman.
Oh shit.
As he went past.
Huh.
So my mom stopped. That woman started crying immediately. So she said, "You come and sit in the car with me." She made her sit in the car. She followed that rickshaw, stopped the rickshaw, took that guy out, gave him 3-4 slaps, and toppled his rickshaw over.
Shit.
And then went and dropped that girl home. And then when she came back, she was still in that frame of mind. And she was telling my aunt that, you know, can you believe this happened and that happened? And they were telling her, have you gone mad to go and follow? And,
right.
you know, and so like that incident, because I mean, in my understanding at that time, was a very unmotherly thing. You know what I mean? Like you don't imagine women getting into scraps on the road.
Yeah, right,
You know what I'm saying?
right.
And I was very like kind of blown away by that whole thing. And also it gave me a insight and maybe just a feeling at that time when it started of, yaar, if you see something like this, you have to stand up. You can't just be like, arey, how sad, and move on. You know? So, I mean, to me, that was a slightly like key turning moment in my psyche towards her, understanding her, and also just in terms of what she represented in that moment to that woman as well.
Interesting.
You know, like, so that was and I found it, I just found it very, I mean, it broke the image that I had of her in a great way.
Right.
In a great way. And I was just very impressed. I was like, wow, this is like, that's my mom. You know, like, that was the feeling. But I remember that very, very clearly. Very clearly.
It's interesting because you also do this work with Mard, na? You want to talk about that a little bit? What is Mard? What do you do with that?
I mean, no, weirdly enough, like, you know, like, so it's incidents like this, jo abhi humne baat ki, growing up with her, growing up predominantly with her sisters, being in a house, तो मेरी बहन थी, मेरी माँ थी, ज़्यादातर जो मतलब लोग आके रहते थे would be either my aunts would come and stay, and then of course being married, having 2 daughters. So my close kind of emotional ecosystem, you know, my ecology is feminine here. I've grown up predominantly surrounded by very, very strong women who have careers, have plans and ideas for themselves. So when all this was happening and I saw that a woman who was out working, had a job, had plans for her life, was brutalized in such a way. That happened in Delhi. Delhi mein jo hua tha 2012 mein. And then the aftermath of that, the things that people, I mean, the perpetrators was saying, and that feeling of, it came up in many other conversations before, with incidents before as well.
Victim shaming. लड़की की गलती है, वो रात को क्यों निकली है?
रात को क्यों निकली? They should be at home.
Right.
ऐसे कपड़े पहन के जाएगी तो क्या होगा? You know, that boys will be boys.
Right.
Was another thing. And even this whole thing of the guys when they spoke, मतलब उनके भी interviews हैं for people to see, where their idea of women working doesn't suit them. That empowered woman going for a job, they feel is not correct. The role should be at home. So when I was, so it was many things came together in that moment. वो जो सालों से मतलब आप सुनते हैं जब कोई इंसिडेंट होता है तो घर में आप बैठ के दूसरों से बात करते हैं, यू गेट वेरी इरिटेटेड एंड यू गेट एंग्री, क्या हो रहा है देश का, क्या होगा, यू नो व्हाई आर द पुलिस नॉट डूइंग एनीथिंग एंड ऑल दैट स्टफ हैपेंस. और 2 दिन बाद यू गेट बैक टू योर जॉब एंड यू
Life
ऑल
moves
फॉरगॉटन,
on.
लाइफ मूव्स ऑन, इट्स जस्ट अ स्टोरी इन अ न्यूज़पेपर. तो दैट इट ब्रॉट इट टू अ पॉइंट यार कि मुझे लगा कि मतलब आई कांट बी सिटिंग एट होम एंड नाउ जस्ट कंप्लेनिंग टू माई फ्रेंड्स एंड वेंटिंग टू समबडी ऑन द फोन. वन हैज़ टू डू समथिंग, you know, or life has been very, very kind to you. It has given you success in a area of life which is public, where you have a voice that may reach a few people. Or agar you have a contrary way of thinking from how those men and those boys think, it's a good idea to engage with them, you know, and kind of try and instill a new message of masculinity with them. So that's really how it began, and that's what Mard is. Yeah, it's that's what it stands for.
What does it literally stand for?
Men Against Rape and Discrimination.
And it's an NGO you have.
It's not an NGO.
It's not an NGO.
No. So it's just a behavior initiative.
Okay.
तो एक चीज़ है, मतलब जहाँ मैं जाता हूँ, colleges में मैं जाता था, I go and engage with students. We took our music there, and we made Mard the part of the programming of that event, and to chat mainly with younger boys, younger men, जो who on the cusp of masculinity, you know, because जैसे अभी हम बात कर रहे थे कि what is the definition of a man, you know, at what point does a boy become a man,
right?
कि मतलब मैं कितनी उम्र का हूँ कि जब मैं कहूँगा कि यार अब मैं लड़का नहीं रहा, मैं मर्द बन गया हूँ. It's not when you turn 18, it's when you start thinking a certain way. Some people become men when they are 30 years old.
Some don't even.
Some don't.
Right, yeah.
Yeah,
we can all think of an example.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
Right.
Some don't even.
Right.
So the fact is, what are those characteristics, emotional traits, mental traits? What is it that qualifies somebody or makes them feel कि यार अब मैं लड़का नहीं रहा, मैं मर्द हूँ. Cigarette, people feel ना, मैं cigarette पी रहा हूँ, मैं I've become a man. Those are superficial things, but people have those also things.
Right.
तो टू इंगेज विद दैट कि यार जब आप सोच रहे हो कि वो क्या चीज़ है जिसके बलबूते पे मैं कहूँगा कि यार अब मैं लड़का नहीं रहा, मैं मर्द बन गया हूँ. यू थिंक अबाउट कंपैशन, यू थिंक अबाउट एम्पैथी, यू थिंक अबाउट सेंसिटिविटी, यू थिंक अबाउट हैंडलिंग रिजेक्शन इन अ पॉजिटिव वे. थिंक अबाउट ऑल दीज थिंग्स, क्योंकि हमारे अंदर जो इम्पल्सेस डाले जाते हैं फ्रॉम द टाइम दैट वी आर किड्स इज मर्द रोता नहीं है, मर्द इमोशन दिखाता नहीं है, मर्द के प्रॉब्लम्स वो खुद अपने आप ही अंदर ही रखेगा, किसी के साथ शेयर नहीं करेगा, बट वरना मतलब ही सीम वीक, यू नो. सो दे आर ऑल, एंड जो चाहिए मतलब ही विल गो एंड गेट व्हाट ही वांट्स, हासिल करके ही रहेगा कुछ भी हो जाए. हाँ, जैसी भी पहाड़ मतलब चढ़ना पड़े,
जैसा भी लक्ष्य हो,
हाँ जैसा भी लक्ष्य हो, हाँ करना पड़ेगा. You know what I'm saying?
Right, I know.
So these are the impulses that you're given,
Right.
and that creates a very warped idea of masculinity in people. Okay, you're not in touch at all with a softer side of life, and that makes you a very one-dimensional kind of person here.
Sure.
You know, and when you're that way, anything that is not in that thing is embarrassing for you, and you reject it. So if you see a man, if you would see a man who has this, you'll think, "Arey, he's a wuss." Why is he a wuss? Because he's in touch with his feelings. Do you know what I mean?
I know exactly what
so
you mean.
it was just talking to boys and talking to men about that, and through that, talking to them about equality, about empowerment of themselves and of women. So that's really how it all like kind of came about, and how you cannot consider violence against women, discrimination against women, a female problem, because it is not
The victim's fault.
not only the victim's fault, it's not being even discrimination.
Right.
कि तुम बाहर नहीं जा सकती हो. आप घर में मतलब ये एक बेनिफिट है लड़कों को in many parts के मतलब तू लड़का है तो बाहर जाएगा ही दोस्तों के साथ. He'll go out, he'll go on his bike, ये करेगा वो करेगा, आ जाएगा वापस. But questions are asked of the girl when they want to go out. Now you can be like, it's very unsafe outside. But who is making it unsafe outside? Men are only making it unsafe outside. So we are the ones now who have to create a safer environment. They've been trying for centuries to do it. You know, we are the partners that have not really like kind of been true partners in a sense. So that's really what the conversations are about.
Guys, trust me, I cannot give you the beauty of this conversation in just this one clip. If you like this clip, then you have to go to our main channel and subscribe to it and press the bell icon because we post some amazing conversations for you on that channel.